Welcome to Classic Car Cave. It's been a little while, about a week or so since I put a video up. That's because we've got guests here. We've got some family from my side and some family from my wife's side, and they're kind of overlapping each other, so it's like a week or 2 weeks or 10 days or more, and obviously I can't come into the garage. The other problem has been, since I came back from this long trip in the UK, my back has been hurting terribly. I've had some really big problems with it. I've had some massage done on it, and that hasn't, it just helps for a few hours. So I'm trying to get over that. I've had a little bit of man flu as well. I think probably we're standing around a lot in the UK or waiting for things, and you know, being out, and then it rained and it was warm and usual stuff. Anyway, so Amir's away, and he's away for quite a long, I think it's nearly 3 weeks he's going to be away this trip. I think he's got some family do or something. Anyway, so I can get on with the other stuff, but I have to wait now until obviously the family are not here. It would be rude of me not to be around. But the good thing is while I'm here on my own, my wife's back up in Vienna running her business, I can work whatever time I want. I mean, I want to work at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, because the house is completely detached, and the room, this garage, is basically soundproof as well insulated from heat and cold. I can pretty much get on with anything I want. I try not to make any noise at, late on at night, but if I've got things I can do, I can get on with it. So I don't have to get up at a certain time in the morning, apart from walking the dog. I don't have to, there's no regime as such, so I can get on with what I want. Anyway, on this video, this is the last part of that 5 sequence we talked about with all the 6 vehicles that I have that are currently either been restored or partly restored or being updated, whatever. So the last one is this I believe it is a 1934 Citroen Rossolet. This is what the body shell is, this is what the body shell would have been. From all the, if anybody knows better, then please say something in the comments. But from all the research that I've done, this is a 1936 Rossolet, and it would have been a 4-door saloon car with like a big massive trunk on the back. Now when I got the vehicle, I'll put some videos in or some pictures in of how I got it, and obviously the back was already cut off it, so it was not in a position where I could restore it. There was nothing to restore, it was gone. And consequently what we've done with this is we stripped it, we got it mechanically running, we got the engine running, the transmission, the brakes, and then we drove it on the chassis, and then we stripped it and sandblasted everything, and then we put it back together. Now, this will be taken apart again. This is only to get some, what we're going to do now is put it back together, then I'll get photographs done of it to send off to Citroen in France to see if I can get some heritage paperwork for it and see if I can get some registration papers for the car, because if I can't get that, then I have to look at alternatives. Do I sell it as a project to somebody? Do I use the body and hot rod it, make my own chassis, put some big powerful engine under it, which would be very difficult to get through a turf here, but there's a possibility. If not, I could sell it maybe in the UK or somewhere else, and then maybe sell the chassis and engine to a Rossolet enthusiast who has got a body but doesn't have a running engine and chassis. Who knows? Anyway, what I'll do is I'll take you around and I'll show you the stuff that I've got for it, what my intentions are, what we're going to do with it, and yeah, just a general brief look around how things are going to go, basically. Sorry, won't say the word basically. I had a friend in America who seems to concentrate on that word, so we'll go with the basics of what we're going to do with this vehicle. Is that better, Gary? One of the other things that's come up in my research is I don't believe that this is not the original engine. I'm 99% sure it's not the original engine, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is in 1934 this would have been a side valve, and that, it being a side valve, it would have had a flat head, cylinder head on it where the plugs were in the top of it, Now obviously the plugs are on the side of this. Now I believe that this is from a traction Avant. Now the only difference with the traction Avant is the gearbox was on the front of the traction Avant, but this is the same style engine. And what I think, I don't know, please anybody out there that knows this right or wrong, I think the cylinder head on this can go round the other way. I'm not sure if that's the case, because then that would bring the pump in the right direction and turn the engine round to have this gearbox that way round, if you see what I'm saying. So the whole engine, if you look at it in a traction Avant, this is exactly the same engine, but if you turned it round, the plugs would be on that side and the inlet would be on this side where the vergaser, where the carburetor is, and the only difference is the pump would stay in that position. But obviously if you turn that round, so I think the cylinder head can be turned on them 180, I think, and the gearbox was on the front because the traction Avant was a front wheel drive car. So, and there is some numbers on it, and it says, I think it's, whether that's the actual date of manufacture, I'm not sure, but if you look down here, it says something like 43, 17th of the 6th, 43, I think that says. 43, I'm pretty sure it's 43. But anyway, we've got it all back on again. Just had to put the dynamo back on, radiator and a few bits and bobs. Okay, inside we've now got the floor that I built earlier. We've put this in. Obviously this is not the original wheel, the wheel just came apart. And we've got the handbrake mechanism in it now, and these are the pedals from here. So basically all of the floor, I'm saying that word again, sorry Gary, yeah, so the floor has been completely redone, everything, the side steps up, there was nothing, absolutely nothing on the floor. In fact, the doors were sitting on the chassis. There was a piece of wood holding the back up, so there was no back piece here. This was all gone. I mean, obviously this would have been a saloon car, it would have gone along here with suicide doors on the back. So what, I was nearly going to say it again. So what was left on it, when I got it, was well, nothing at all on the back. The arches I got from somebody else. I've made the running boards. The wings were on it, but in really poor shape. They're in poor shape now, but they're even worse. The chassis and the running gear, and that was it. Even all this cab was completely, it was just rusted out. So we've done a lot of work on it, and as I say, on the bottom there was absolutely nothing. There was no footprints to hold or no foot pads to hold the cab onto any kind of chassis, or onto the chassis. It was all gone. Even the aluminium spacers were rotted away, because aluminium and metal together, you get a problem with this corrosion, like in Land Rover doors. But yeah, I mean, it runs and it drives and it works. What I really need to do now is mock it up, and what I mean by mock it up is put it together roughly how it's going to look, and then get photographs from different sides, front, back, sides, top, whatever, and get them off to Citroen and see what they come up with. If that chassis number matches up, which it should, because it was made in Paris, they basically, Citroen say, as long as it's a vintage car and it's made in France, they should be able to find it. But I'm fairly sure that engine is not original. I'm 99% sure that is not an original engine in it. I think that's a later engine from something else. And yet the gearbox seems to be correct. So we will see. Anyway, I'll show you some of the stuff that I got for it while I was away in England, and then you can see for yourself. These are the aluminium strips I had cut from a place called Woolies in the UK in Peterborough, and I bought a load of this stuff, more than I need, which is the correct profile, as you can see there, to go in there. And obviously what I have to do is give them a little bit of a clean up. Obviously first thing we have to do is drill them countersink so that the screw is lower, and then bolt them to the running boards, and then use some kind of silicone or whatever to pull them through, because they're a bit tight. I've got to clean these ends anyway. But this will give you an idea of what we're looking at. So I've got 10, 5 for each side, 20 caps, and obviously these caps will fit right over the edge of the aluminium, and you can see how it would look with it pulled in a little bit. So each one of these will have that black piece in it, so you don't touch the paint in between. And I think that's going to look pretty nice. Obviously they've got to be squared up perfectly. But yeah, that's the kind of look I'm going for. So that was one piece that I got from Woolies. I'll show you some other pieces. Other pieces that I bought these, so I've got 4 of these, so possibly they will go, maybe one there and possibly another one here. And the idea of this is you can lift it on the hinge when you're lifting up the side of the hood. And then those 4 of these, which are chrome spring clamps, which this obviously goes down onto this stays with this somewhere, and then this will hook in here, sort of something like that, and this will go onto the body, but they're spring loaded. So there'll be one here and one at the back, and same both sides, and they're really quite nice. This is a set of handles I've got for it, so I've got 2 sets, lockable. There was £5 worth of difference between locking and not locking, so it was a no-brainer, so I just went for it. These will be the inside handles, and some other bits and pieces. So this is where I got it from. As I said, this is Woolies, this is the newest one. This is their little catalogue, and the profiles these guys do is unbelievable, of rubber. Let me just open it up so you can see it maybe. Yeah, you can see all the different rubbers, and you need to get the book and have a look, or go online, Woolies. Yeah, so this piece now I'm going to have to fabricate into the rear panel, and I have to shape up the rear panel here. It's off at the moment, and obviously that one there's not even been cut round yet. So we'll do that. There's a bunch of stuff to do to it, but I've even got some material for inside. Now this is like a ox leather or blood leather. It's not, it's vinyl. But I got a load of that, and I think that's going to go really nice with the internal part of the car. Obviously we have to make everything ourselves, and what I'll do here is I'll make a box seat which will go in here in the back. So there'll be a back piece on here which is solid, not adjustable, and then a base piece which will be like a come toolbox. You can lift it up and there'll be a toolbox in it, so it'll be hinged in some way. And yeah, and then obviously the rest, you aren't going to find the parts for this car, and I don't want to put it back, don't want to restore it back to where it was. I just want to make it something new. And I'll show you some pictures of some of the ideas that some other people have done with these Rossoles, the same age, maybe not the same engine box, but the same kind of age or same body style. But a lot of them have made them out of wood on the back, which I don't particularly like. I think it looks a bit Heath Robinson, a bit Mickey Mouse. Although I will do a wood interior in it, inside. I mean, the base will be wood, but I'd prefer the metal because I think you can make a nicer job with the metal and style it that little bit better. So yeah, so that's where we're at with it. At the moment, the springs on the back isn't the weight. People are saying, oh, there's a lot of weight on the back. No more than there would have been really with the original body. That box section is not that heavy. Maybe when it's completely finished it will be heavier slightly, but the springs are 88 years old. I mean, so of course they're past their sell-by date. What I could do is try and find springs that will replace them, put new U-bolts on it, or what I can do is make 4 drop hangers, spring drop hangers. I can make them out of tubular and sort of 6 mil, sort of 8 mils, 10 mils steel, and put drops on it so it will bring it up that 3 centimeters I need to do. Just for the photographs, maybe just now, I don't know, or I'll just put a jack under it and see how it looks. So there we are. And this is the kind of last update on this until I start getting on with a few things. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like them, think about subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. I never ask people to subscribe normally, but if it's something your friends might like or you pass on to somebody else, then great. The more the merrier. I try to do an information exchange, it's not a teaching thing, it's not anything. I'm just doing what I'm doing, my own thing. And if you like it, that's fine. And if you don't, that's fine as well. It's not a problem. But I try and pass on little tips that I've learned or little advice I've got from other people. Anyway, as I said, on that note, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, go out in the garage, get something done, and believe me, it's so satisfying. Be good to each other. Take care.